Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. We are back for another United Daily Live, and we are here live to discuss all the latest Manchester United news, transfer rumours, headlines, all that good stuff, and of course, getting updates on Project Restart and when we are finally going to get football. We are, of course, looking at today the transfer rumours linking Manchester United with Timo Werner. Now, I've avoided discussing this one in the past when the rumours have popped up or have had question from you guys because of the simple fact that, you know, it looks like he's going to be headed elsewhere, Bayern Munich, Liverpool. It doesn't look like it's a real thing that United have been interested in. But when you hear the latest rumours in relation to Liverpool's interest, Bayern Munich's interest and other clubs' interest in Timo Werner, there may be an opening for Manchester United to come in and snap him up. But would they do that? Are they really interested in him? Or is Manchester United's name being used to get more interest in Timo Werner from other clubs? We'll be looking at those reports today that are linking Timo Werner with a move to Manchester United. And we'll also look at the report from Reuters that Manchester United have withdrawn £140 million credit, which could potentially be used in player transfers. Also, Project Restart Phase 2 has been approved. And the gossip sees Alexis linked with a move to Dortmund. I say the gossip. Everything's gossip these days, isn't it? There's not a lot going on in the world of football at the moment. There's just a lot of chatter about when the league's going to start, what players are going to be going where when the transfer window finally opens. We don't even know when the transfer window is finally going to open. We haven't got a clue. And there's just rumours every single day. Now, you kind of got to expect this because of the simple fact that journalists are going to be quiet. Journalists are going to be quiet. They're not going to have much to talk about. So what better than to talk about than transfers? They know fans love those kind of things. And of course, with clubs not in competitive action, I suppose, and with a lot of times I'm sure managers and coaches and people like that are sat at home thinking, what can we do with all this spare time that we never knew that we'd have? And I wouldn't be surprised if there are managers sat there going through and having a deeper think and a deeper plan, not only for the remainder of this season, but for also what the summer holds. Maybe reaching out to certain players, certain agents, certain clubs to see whether there are deals that can be made. But there's the other added fact that you've got the coronavirus pandemic, which has seen teams being forced to play behind closed doors and have no football for like 2-3 months. And with that being, you know, happening for clubs, a lot of them are going to be affected financially. And it wouldn't surprise me if the bigger clubs who are still going to be impacted, but least so, would maybe look around and start thinking, who can we poach? Who can we get from these smaller teams that are needing the cash at the moment? So, you know, you're going to see a lot of that in the transfer window that comes up next summer as well, or whenever it is. It's already nearly summer. And the league campaign should be being finished by now. We could possibly be looking forward to a FA Cup final or a Europa League final in Gdansk. I think that was supposed to be today. So it is, of course, you know, the time when the trophies would be being handed out in the Premier League. But we're still looking at when's the campaign going to get finished. We've still got 9 games to go in the Premier League. And we've still just in the quarterfinals of the Europa League and the FA Cup. So still a lot of action to be played and not a lot of time to do it in. And when you do hear that they're talking about, you know, potentially starting next season, in September, in the middle of September, consider that. So you've got the middle of September, where the next league campaign is going to start, the middle of July, where this campaign is going to start. So that would give you up to probably, the middle of June, where the next campaign starts. So that would bring you up to end of July possibly, start of August when it finishes. So are the teams going to get like a 4-week pre-season? Is the transfer window going to be open during the end of the campaign for clubs? Like, it's a little bit weird. Like, what's going to happen? Is the transfer window going to open while United are still dealing with, you know, the league, and clubs are still dealing with the league? Because that could be a case as well. Still haven't heard what's going on with that one. So we'll be looking at all of these things here on AdamMcKola TV today. We'll be looking at any other stories that you guys want to discuss. Make sure you're hitting that like button, you're commenting, you're sharing, you're subscribing. We've got over 100 people watching live at the moment, and there of course will be more popping in and of course watching later on as well. Now, Timo Werner is someone me and somebody in the comments was arguing about the other day, because I said Anthony Martial was more clinical than him. Listen to what I said, more clinical than him. Like, the geezer came back with loads of goal scoring stats and stuff. Now, I know this season Timo Werner scored a lot of goals, and I know I'm not an expert on Timo Werner. I don't watch him week in, week out. But I have watched about 10-15 games of him this season. And in a lot of those games, he misses a lot of sitters. And that's what led me to say Martial is more clinical. Listen to what I said. And when you check the stats, it's like 2.8 goals, shots per goal for Martial, and 4.8 for Timo Werner. And you're proven right in that aspect. Now, that's not to say Timo Werner's a bad player, because he's clearly not. Scores a lot of goals. He's still got a higher ceiling as well. I don't think you're seeing that, you know, the final product with him. You're still going to get a lot more from him. And despite the fact I said that, I'd hate to see him sign for Liverpool, because it's a very good option for them to have in that front three. But nevertheless, are Liverpool going to be signing him? The current reports that are circulating are that Liverpool, Bayern Munich, all those guys do not want to pay 55 million euros for Timo Werner. They do not want to pay his release clause. And with that being said, you're now looking around and thinking, will somebody else come in for him? Now, you've got to ask yourself, £55 million? Are these clubs missing a trick? Or, you know, how is this happening? 55 million and no one's taking 55 million euros and no one's taking it. How is this possibly happening? And is that because he's not good enough? Is it because these teams aren't sure about him? Or is it because these teams think, actually, if we wait, if we play hardball, if we just delay things around a little bit, they may accept a lower bid? And that's what I think these clubs are doing at this moment in time. Because I think in this market, Timo Werner's worth 55 million euros all day long. He's worth his release clause. So I have no doubt that those clubs would actually want to pay it. Or is it that the clubs that were initially in for him, the Liverpool, Bayern Munich, whoever, can't afford him now? Aren't in a position where they can spend that kind of money? Because that could be the case too. That wouldn't surprise me at all if that was the case. So, is Leipzig, or are Timo Werner's representatives now shopping around for new suitors? Are they using Manchester United in order to say, yo, if you lot ain't being serious, United are interested. So if you don't want to pay the release clause, they will. And then that will make Liverpool think, alright, we'll pay it. Or Bayern Munich think, alright, we'll pay it. Because, I know, United would probably fall for that one. Or if City are interested, make sure you pay up. United will pay up straight away if they had City were interested. So maybe Leipzig or his representatives are hoping that by putting United in the mix, by putting United in the frame, that another club would bite and would pay that release clause. Or alternatively, United have sat there and thought, yo, Timo Werner thought he was going Liverpool, much like I have. I thought he was going Liverpool. He's not going Liverpool anymore. He's now available. Maybe we should make a move for him. So there's a number of options that this could be. It could be a load of bullshit. It could be Leipzig or his agents or his representatives trying to get more interest. It could be current people that are bidding and competing for his signature, trying to get the price down. Or it could be they can no longer afford him. United's name's being thrown into the mix because we're either A, interested, or B, we're not interested, but it will get other people interested. You have to ask yourself these questions, because those are the options that you have when you think of, you know, a transfer like this. So what do you guys think it is? Which way do you fall on the divide in terms of Timo Werner and this transfer rumour? According to ESPN, United are monitoring the current situation of RB Leipzig's Timo Werner. Despite mounting evidence the player will join Liverpool, There's other reports in regards to Timo Werner that Liverpool, Bayern Munich do not want to pay his release clause of 55 million euros. The Blur says Liverpool are just trying to get the price down because they know that's where he wants to go. Marcus has just joined us. Welcome, Marcus. Glenn's in the house. Ross is in the house. We did that with Sanchez. Yeah, mate, it sounded familiar, didn't it? Ale says, I think it's a Liverpool fan, says Liverpool will buy Werner. United said they weren't interested in Bruno and then signed him. United haven't said here we're not interested in him. That's what I think. Like, this is just me, thinking out loud, spitballing. What are the scenarios here? I genuinely feel Liverpool will still buy him. I don't think any club would be overlooking him at 55 million euros, the release clause. It may just be a case they're trying to get the price down. Leipzig are trying to get a bidding war going. You don't really know. 50 million for a striker is a good buy, says Spencer. It is a good buy for someone of Timo Werner's quality, that is for sure. Ross says Liverpool are trying to get the price down. They want to get him for 30 million. And he's also mentioned an Angel Gomez update as well, which we'll discuss in due course any minute now. Guys, get your questions, thoughts, comments, and everything else in on this Timo Werner story. I'll bring up the full story now in terms of not the ESPN story. So that's the update. This was something that came from the Mirror. Liverpool withdraw from Timo Werner talks and won't pursue RB Leipzig star transfer. This is an exclusive from David Maddock, who says Werner is highly rated by Jurgen Klopp, but Liverpool aren't willing to go above 30 million amid football's current financial uncertainty, and have withdrawn from talks to sign the RB Leipzig star. Liverpool have refused point blank to pay Timo Werner's release clause, even if that means losing out on the striker. As things stands with his club Leipzig insisting they will not negotiate a price tag below his release clause, the Reds have withdrawn completely from any talks over the striker and will not pursue the signature. It sounds like me on Football Manager trying to get a player's head rattled so he starts begging for the move in the press. Jurgen Klopp has been straightforward with the German international forward, despite expressing a long-term interest in signing him by insisting the transfer market has been turned upside down, slashing his potential value. The financial crisis inflicted on football by the global coronavirus pandemic means Anfield Chiefs are facing at least 100 million shortfall in income over the next 12 months. And with most of Europe's top clubs facing similar problems, it has changed the transfer landscape completely. Liverpool have a good relationship with Leipzig, but they now value him at significantly less than 30 million. Let's be real, he's not worth less than 30 million. He's not worth 30 million, he's worth a lot more. It leaves Werner with the choice of sticking out his current contract, which has 2 years left to run, to force the price down, or looking elsewhere. Clubs such as Inter and Barcelona have expressed an interest, but they too know the transfer market has been turned on its head and will also refuse to meet the exit clause. If Werner sticks it out in Germany for another year, the next summer will see his release clause drop to around 35 million. But he knows Leipzig will be forced to revise their valuation, and that valuation when he enters the final year of his contract. It leaves the ball firmly in the court of the German club though. Last night, Leipzig's CEO Oliver Mintzlaff took a hardline stance by saying, "It won't get any cheaper. We will not sell a player below value if he's under contract for more than a year." In general, we always ask the question, can we replace a player if we sell him for less than his market value? The answer to that is obviously no. So that's the current situation in regards to Leipzig, or at least reported. Now, let's not be naive here. It could very well be true because this isn't just wishful thinking. United will be affected too. But Liverpool will be impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. Their spending will be impacted. They may not now make signings they were going to make, or make sales they were going to make, or they may have to make a sale to make, those kind of things. And they're already not a club that will spend the biggest in terms of wages on players. So they could be impacted in the next transfer window. City won't be impacted. We know them and what they're doing and what they're playing at. But they could, potentially incur further FFP issues, so they may not be willing to spend either. If United play their cards right, I'm not saying we can close the gap completely because it's a big gap between us and the top two. But if we play our cards right in the transfer window and we make the right signings, and this is not Timo Werner related, this is just United related in general, and me just speaking out loud, if we make the right signings, we could close that gap a little bit more than maybe we would have if we weren't in this position. This is a disastrous position to be in for football and football clubs in general. But United are maybe one that could use it to their advantage. And Reuters recently reported that United have withdrawn £140 million of their £150 million credit, which is like, like an overdraft, if you will. And they've taken out that credit, and that could be used for transfers. It's not necessarily going to just be used for transfers. Wouldn't surprise me if it ended up in the Glazers skyrocket. But Reuters have reported that that has happened. Now, if that is the case, and you'd assume, in the financial world they'd know a lot more about this. But if that is the case, then maybe it does hint at United either A, preparing for a big bid for someone like Jadon Sancho, or B, looking around the market and thinking, actually, let's spend a little bit more this summer, and we won't have to spend as much in the next 2 windows or 3 windows, which could be a shrewd way to think about it. Or it also could just mean United are struggling, and despite the fact we've been able to pay all our staff and those kind of things, and haven't had to defer any players' wages and stuff, that the club are feeling it and bringing in that cash in order to be able to keep the money fluid around the business and not have to be working at the bottom of the barrel. But it does look like it wouldn't be that. But who knows with the Glazers and Glazonomics? You never know, do you? Guys, get your comments in, get your thoughts in, get your questions in. Get everything in right now here at AdamMcKola TV. Get liking the video as well for me, guys. We've got over 200 people in right now. Thank you very much for tuning. Hit that like button. What are you waiting for, man? 43 likes, 200 and odd people in here. That's a bit whack, innit? That's whack. Come on, hit that like button. And also, guys, thank you to those that have joined as well. Make sure you click that join button. We're uploading the latest exclusive members video this week, which is a magnificent one. I've been doing little work, just tinkering with it a little bit. That's why it's taking me a little bit longer, but it's going to be out this month, and it is this month's video. An exclusive video for you guys when you join every single month. You also get access to the Discord. You also get to ask questions in Q&As, in player interviews, things like that, and other little bonuses that you get on the channel. So if you fancy it, click that join button right now. If you can't, make sure you subscribe to AdamMcKola TV, please, and make sure you're supporting the channel as we continue our growth here. Get rid of the deadwood also, says Michael. I've not seen your first comment though. He says Werner or Sancho, please. Sorry I'm late, but I just see ahead, Adam. How you doing, Minnie? You alright? The money isn't all for transfers, of course it's not. This is the Glazers we're talking about. Do you think that Woodward is responsible for the financial stability that we have, says Mohit? No, I do not. Whilst Woodward is very good and aggressive at getting deals in, ultimately Manchester United get those deals in because of the success that we had before Ed Woodward was in this position. We get those deals because of who we are and who we have been, and maybe because of a few of the signings that we've made, but ultimately we would be a lot more commercially successful if we were more successful on the football pitch. And the last 6-7 years haven't been that, but we have been commercially successful, and that's been on the back of the success that came before him. Anyone could sell Man United. Let's be real. Anybody could sell Man United to these sponsors. Oh, Chris, that's a big question, that, ain't it, Chris? I say this one, but I would say that I am a little bit biased. Nice one, Glenn. Dortmund aren't dumb enough to take Alexis Sanchez, says Callum. Yeah, and let's look at this report right now, actually. There was a report yesterday, in fact, in relation to Alexis Sanchez and Manchester United offering Sanchez to Borussia Dortmund in an effort to seal the Jadon Sancho transfer. And I just got to say, it's not going to happen, is it? It's just not happening. Why would they do that? Why would they take Alexis Sanchez? They'd probably take Andreas Pereira before Alexis Sanchez. Jesse Lingard before Alexis Sanchez. Better players. And players that could be possibly available, possibly on the market. Wouldn't make any sense to me for Manchester United to be taking Sorry, Dortmund to be taking Alexis Sanchez. By all means, please take him off our hands, but it's just not going to happen. Sandeep, I'm not going to say that till I know what it means. I'm not going to get caught in one of those traps that a lot of people that are on lives do. Hope you're doing well though, Mohit. Only teams daft enough to take Sanchez are the Chinese, the Americans, and Newcastle, says Blur. With Sky saying talks are ongoing for Igalo to extend his loan to January. Do you think we might not sign a striker in the summer as a result? I think that's a possibility, yes, mate. I think if Igalo was to stay for the foreseeable future until January, I think it would be a case that maybe we would not sign a striker. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I only think we need to sign a striker if we do let go of Odion Igalo. I say let go, or if he returns, we're not really letting go of him if his contract ends, is it? Dortmund will sell Sancho, and then Gio Reyna will be their next star, says Anish. Joshua Igei thinks Werner is overrated. We did have transfers, Adam, but before Solskjaer, our transfers had been done. Yeah, I've never denied we've had transfers. We've spent a lot of money under the Glazers since Sir Alex Ferguson left. But they were chucking shit at it, trying to make something stick. Mr. A says Werner won't join in my opinion. Liverpool are too advanced in talks. Would like him though. Quality player. What do you make of these latest reports that Liverpool probably aren't going to be in for him? Do you think that could be the case? That's like Juventus offering Ramsey for Pogba, says Gattaca. How you doing, Dr. Tom Moy? Hope you're well. See, Sandy, you were trying to trick me, weren't you, mate? We only need one winger or a striker, and I think we are definitely in the top 3 clubs in England, says Vibor. That's the thing. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does get his wish and gets Jadon Sancho in the summer, and we manage to bring him in, then he's kind of got no excuses for, you know, not bringing in results and getting some sort of success. I'm not saying win the league straight away. It's still a progression. It's still a work in progress. But we need to be a lot closer than what we are at the minute. And we need to cut out a lot of those annoying results that we've gained. If you have a front three and you've spent the kind of money that you would have spent on Sancho at right wing, which is, you know, 90 million or whatever, you've bought in Bruno Fernandes at 50 million, 45 million. You've brought in Wan-Bissaka, Maguire. You've had the chance to sign Daniel James, Igalo. You know, you would have added a lot of players to the team. You still need a few more, yes. And you have worked a little bit more out of what you've got. But nevertheless, we would be expecting a lot better results. And if we're in the current position we're in now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would be under pressure. And that's why it's important for him to build on this momentum that we've got. Rajan says 2 quality transfers, Adam, and we will challenge for the title next season. How can clubs that have had players take wage cuts or furloughed staff even be allowed to buy players, says Galvatron. And that is something that you have to consider, mate. And clubs will have to consider. Players like Liverpool potentially went to furlough their staff and only went against it because of the public outcry, didn't they? So you can potentially, you know, there's a lot of clubs that are deferring wages and things. They're not going to be in a position to buy any players. You think they're going to have 30, 40, 50 million pounds spent on players when they can't spend a few hundred grand on the wages of their staff? And morally, what does that say to their staff? If they're out there spending that kind of money on players, but they couldn't pay all their wages when they needed it. So I do agree with you in that aspect. By the way, guys, we're trying to hit 100 members by the end of June. You can help me do that by clicking the join button. If you're a YouTube premium member in select countries, you get a free YouTube subscription premium membership. So why don't you use that on my channel? If not, use it anyway. Click join, get joining, help us hit 100 by the end of June. Reports claiming Real Madrid will offer Martin Odegaard plus cash for Pogba. Yeah, these player swaps just not going to be happening, are they? United aren't going to take a swap for him at all. I think Sancho's a bit overhyped. We should go for Adama Traore, says Fibore. Sancho is better than Adama Traore, in my opinion, a better footballer. Beyond the pace, I don't see anything else that Adama Traore offers better than Jadon Sancho, but that's just my opinion. Dream somewhere would be Jeff Bezos to buy the club. Sean Ralph, I appreciate you, mate. Yes, Liam, how you doing, Liam Keeley or Kylie? Thank you very much for joining us. Didn't Liverpool do the same tactic for Virgil van Dijk, negotiation tactic? Do you think we will get him? Out of personal opinion, says Mr. A. In my personal opinion, I do not think we will get Timo Werner. But just to update you guys that have joined us late, Man United are monitoring the current situation of Timo Werner. Despite mounting evidence the player will join Liverpool. That's according to ESPN. Now, there was an exclusive report in the British press yesterday which said Liverpool had pulled out of the race to sign Timo Werner. They were not interested in paying his release clause of 55 million euros. They were only looking to spend around 30 million, and as a result, they had pulled out of the signing of him. Now, whether that is true or not would obviously lay a lot of credence or credibility or lack of credibility to this story. So let me know what you guys are thinking about that. Minnie says repeat that YouTube offer. So YouTube Premium members, if you Google it, you'll be able to find it. But YouTube Premium members in like UK, Ireland, Brazil, I think India, and I think a few other countries, they can join channels up to a certain amount, just one channel a month for free. They get it with their membership or something. Odegaard is a Liverpool fan, says Sam G. Shall I tell you who else was a Liverpool fan when he joined Man United? Shall I tell you who else was a Liverpool fan when he joined Man United? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And guess what he did? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer put the ball in the Germans' net, put the ball in the Scousers' net, won the treble for Man United, and no one really cared that he was a Liverpool fan in the end, and he's not a Liverpool fan anymore. We do have a new member, guys. We do have a new member, so thank you very much to Wandile. Hello, Faye. I hope I've said your surname right. But Wandile, thank you very much for joining the channel. Go over, check out the first exclusive video that we uploaded, which is already up there right now, featuring myself, Sam Homewood, Matta, and Herrera. Yes, it's great. And we will have the second exclusive video, because this is only the second month of doing premium memberships on AdamMcKola TV. We'll have the second exclusive video up for you later on this week before the end of the month. So thank you, Wandile, for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Jeff, forget about building rockets. Make United great again. Callum, how you doing, pal? Ideal CDM for me is Kimmich. Sadly, no chance though, says Mark Williams. Do you like the new shirt that got leaked yesterday, says Aiden. There'll be more of that, and there'll be more images for those that haven't seen it in the Weekly United, which is up today. I'm recording that as soon as we finish right here. But yes, I do like it, and it's a lot better than the initial leak that came out. Vibor says Sancho or Timo Werner, and I'd have to say Jadon Sancho. We need a right winger a lot more, in my opinion, and I'd much rather have Jadon Sancho despite the price difference. Would you get Kai Havertz? Says Gear. Not too sure, mate. It doesn't look like something that's going to be happening. Quality player though. Any progress in FIFA versus the fans? Let me know what that is, Caribbean Gaming. Caribbean. I'm thinking of the Caribbean right now. It's supposed to be going away in November to Barbados. Whether that's happening or not is stressing me out, because I really want to go. But obviously the world's a bit of a madness at the moment. They've told me though so far I should be going. So that's alright, I guess. One delay, thank you for commenting. Awesome, he says. Appreciate that, brother. See you on the next daily, Glenn. And yes, make sure you join us on the next daily, which is up tomorrow at 12 PM UK time. I'll be seeing you lot there, but I'll also be seeing you back on this channel later on today for the Weekly United. So make sure you join us then, where we'll have those images of the new United shirt and much, much more. So make sure you are keeping it locked. You're liking, you're commenting, you're sharing, you're subscribing. And for now, I have been AdamMcKola. You lot have been legends. I'm out of here.